Imagine a world where a modern AAA studio attempts the impossible. Three massive open world Witcher games released in just 6 years. It sounds like a joke, right? It sounds like something old school BioWare would do in 2010, but this is the news that just dropped, and CD Projekt Red is officially doubling down on it. They want to pull a Mass Effect style rapid trilogy in the modern era. But here is the twist. The old BioWare did it with smaller, hub-based worlds. CD Projekt wants to do it with massive, next-gen open worlds running on Unreal Engine 5 with zero loading screens and graphical fidelity that pushes the PlayStation 5 to its absolute breaking point. So, the big question today is simple. Is this the most ambitious plan in gaming history, or is it completely delusional? We have already seen the first glimpses of The Witcher 4. We know the codename is Polaris. We know we are playing Ciri as a next Witcher, and we have a target location that book readers have been dreaming of for decades. Basically, the pieces are on the board, but can they actually deliver? Or are we looking at another Cyberpunk launch situation, but this time multiplied by 3? Today, we are breaking down the new Saga from every angle: lore, tech, production pipelines, and the harsh reality of game development in 2025. We are going to debunk the rumors, confirm the leaks, and figure out if we will actually be playing this game before the end of the decade. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm your host, Gwyn, and let's talk about The Witcher 4. Let's start with the headline that has everyone talking. CD Projekt Red has reaffirmed their plan to release The Witcher 4, 5, and 6 within a 6-year window. That means one massive RPG every 3 years, effectively. To put this in context, let's look at the industry right now. The gap between The Elder Scrolls 5 and 6 is infinite. The gap between GTA 5 and 6 will be around 13 years. Naughty Dog takes 5 years to make a linear game, and CD Projekt thinks they can drop 3 blockbusters back to back? Now, I know what you're thinking. Mass Effect did it. And you're right. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 came out between 2007 and 2012. But those games were level-based. They were compact. If we expect The Witcher 4 to be on the same scale as The Wild Hunt, we are talking about hundreds of hours of content, dynamic weather systems, simulated ecosystems, and thousands of lines of dialogue. Trying to release that every 3 years is like trying to sprint a marathon while carrying a horse. So, where is this confidence coming from? Why is the CEO so sure they can do this? The secret lies in the production pipeline. In the past, CD Projekt Red reinvented the wheel for every game. The jump from Witcher 2 to Witcher 3 was a massive tech overhaul. The jump from Witcher 3 to Cyberpunk was catastrophic because the engine broke. This time, the strategy is different. They are treating The Witcher 4, 5, and 6 not as 3 separate productions, but as one gigantic production split into 3 chapters. They are building the assets, the character models, the combat systems, and the world logic for Polaris. Once The Witcher 4 ships, the team doesn't have to build a new engine or new grass textures. They just have to write the script, design the quests, and move the assets to a new map. It is essentially the Blood and Wine strategy on steroids. If you remember, Blood and Wine was the size of a full game, but it only took a year to make because the tech was already there. If this pipeline works, the 6-year plan is theoretically possible, but that is a massive if. Now, this brings us to the technology, because this is the only reason this trilogy exists. For the last decade, CD Projekt ran on their in-house Red engine. It gave us Night City, sure, but it was also notoriously difficult to work with. After the Cyberpunk launch disaster and the security hacks where the engine's source code was literally leaked on the dark web, that engine became a liability. It was hard to hire for, hard to fix, and hard to update. The Witcher 4 is built entirely in Unreal Engine 5. And this isn't just about pretty graphics. It's about survival. CD Projekt has entered a strategic partnership with Epic Games. This isn't just we bought a license. They have Epic engineers on speed dial. They have been working together for 4 years to build custom tools specifically for open-world RPGs. We're talking about nanite foliage. In the tech demos we've seen, this system allows for millions of trees and bushes to be rendered with cinematic quality without melting your console. The way the trees react to the wind, the way the protagonist physically brushes against rocks and squeezes through crowds, that is all motion matching tech baked into the engine. But there is a catch. Unreal Engine 5 has a reputation. It is heavy. It stutters. We've seen plenty of games launch on UE5 with massive performance issues. If CD Projekt doesn't optimize this perfectly, that 6-year plan goes out the window because they will spend 2 years just fixing bugs. However, if there is one studio that can optimize an open world, it's the team that got The Witcher 3 running on a Nintendo Switch. We are likely looking at the most advanced implementation of Unreal Engine 5 ever seen. And because they are using standard industry tools, they can hire developers from Ubisoft, Rockstar, or Naughty Dog, and those devs can start working on day one without spending 6 months learning a weird custom engine. That is the secret weapon for their speed. Now, let's shift gears to the story, because if we're going to be spending the next decade with this trilogy, we need to know who we're playing as and where we are going. We all know that this is Ciri's Saga. We aren't playing as the scared child running from the wild hunt anymore. The trailer showed us a veteran witcher. She has the scars, she has the heavy armor, and most importantly, she is working alone. Sadly, Geralt's story is done. Doug Cockle, the voice of Geralt, has practically confirmed this in interviews. He said Geralt will be present, but he's not the focus. He has retired to Corvo Bianco. We might see him for a cameo, maybe a mentorship role, but the sword has been passed. This changes everything about the gameplay. Geralt was a mutated tank. He used potions, signs, and swords. Ciri is different. She is the Lady of Space and Time. She doesn't just dodge, she blinks, she teleports. She has magical capabilities that far outstrip a normal Witcher. From a game design perspective, this is a nightmare to balance. How do you make a bandit camp difficult when the main character can teleport behind everyone instantly? We are likely going to see a depowered Ciri at the start of the game, or a Ciri who is facing threats so magical and dangerous that her powers are barely enough to survive. And where is she fighting these threats? All signs point to Kovir and Povis. For those who haven't read the books, Kovir is a wealthy, mountainous region in the far north that we never saw in the previous games. Think of it as the Switzerland or Venice of the Witcher world. It is incredibly rich due to mining and trade. It remained neutral during the wars with Nilfgaard, meaning it is a hotbed for spies, political intrigue, and mercenaries. In the tech demo, we saw the city of Valdrest, a bustling port town with over 300 NPCs on screen at once. This isn't the muddy, war-torn swamps of Velen. This is high society, deep magic, and snow-covered peaks. It fits perfectly with the description of Kovir, and here is a detail for the book fans. The king of Kovir, Esterad Hissen, is one of the smartest political minds in the lore. If the game takes place during or shortly after his reign, we are in for a Game of Thrones level of political writing. This allows CD Projekt to move away from the gritty soldier vibe of Geralt and into something more magical and political, fitting Ciri's status as a woman of royal blood. Before we talk about the release date, we need to clear up some confusion. There are a lot of rumors floating around about multiplayer, remakes, and spin-offs. Let's clarify what is what, because CD Projekt is working on 3 different Witcher projects at once. First, there is Project Polaris. This is The Witcher 4 that we are talking about. It is a single-player, narrative-driven RPG. No multiplayer, no microtransactions, just pure story. Second, there is Project Canis Majoris. This is the remake of The Witcher 1. It is being developed by a separate studio called Fool's Theory, but CD Projekt is overseeing it. This game is also being built in Unreal Engine 5. It will likely arrive after Witcher 4, and it will use the new combat systems they are building for Polaris. So, if you miss Geralt, you will get to play him again in this remake. And the last is Project Sirius. This is the one that has people confused. This is a spin-off game developed by the Molasses Flood. This is the game that will have multiplayer elements and co-op. It was rebooted recently because the initial concept wasn't working. Do not confuse this with Witcher 4. Witcher 4 is for the solo players. Sirius is for the people who want to hunt monsters with friends. Okay, so everything sounds great on paper, right? Ciri, Unreal Engine 5, a new trilogy, a rich new setting. But let's do a reality check. There are massive obstacles standing in the way of this 6-year plan. Number 1. The console transition. We are likely heading toward the PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox around 2027 or 2028. The Witcher 4 is going to land right in the middle of that generation shift. Cross-gen development is a nightmare. It breaks pipelines and delays production. Do they release it on PS5 and hold back the graphics? Or do they wait for PS6 and limit their sales? It is a dangerous tightrope. Number 2, the writing quality. My biggest worry is the story. A trilogy needs cohesion. Mass Effect worked because the writing team had a laser focus on the Reapers from day one. If CD Projekt rushes these games to hit a 3-year deadline, we risk getting fetch quest writing just to fill the map. We don't want 100 hours of go kill 5 drowners. We want the Bloody Baron. We want Hearts of Stone. That level of complex, branching narrative takes time to cook. You cannot automate good writing with AI. And speaking of AI, CD Projekt has been clear. They use AI for coding assistance and prototyping, but they are legally and ethically against using generative AI to replace artists and writers. So, in theory, every quest in this new trilogy will still be handcrafted by humans. But humans get tired, humans get burned out, and asking a team to deliver 3 masterpieces in 6 years is a recipe for burnout. So, here is where I stand. I think CD Projekt Red is being aggressively, historically, maybe even delusionally ambitious. And honestly, I love it. I am rooting for them. If they can pull off a cohesive Ciri trilogy in 6 years using Unreal Engine 5, they will change the industry again. They will prove that you don't need 10 years to make a good game if you have good management and good tools. But I am also going to be the first one to say, take your time. If The Witcher 4 needs to slip another 2-3 years to be perfect, let it slip. We can wait. We have waited this long. But I want to hear from you. Do you believe them? Do you think a studio in the modern era can actually release 3 massive RPGs in 6 years, or is this going to end in delays and disappointment? And are you excited to play as Ciri, or do you think the series dies without Geralt? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there arguing with you guys. If you have stayed this long and enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and I will see you on the path. Bye.